The evolution of authority, why I rebranded this product and what it means to you. Most business professionals don't lack experience, they lack recognised authority. And that's exactly why I've rebranded this podcast. For years, this show focused on writing and publishing books. And publishing still matters, but something became increasingly clear to me. Publishing is no longer rare. Anyone can publish. AI can generate manuscripts in a matter of minutes now. Self-publishing platforms have removed friction. The marketplace is saturated with content. But despite the explosion in the content, one thing has not increased, and that's recognised authority. And that's the shift. Publishing distributes ideas, authority shapes perception, and perception determines opportunity. You're listening to Corporate Crossover Bound for Success, and from this point forward, this show is about engineered authority, because I began to notice a pattern. Two professionals publish books. They're both intelligent, they're both experienced, and they're both credible. But one becomes more in demand. The other sees no meaningful shift. No stronger clients, no elevation in positioning, no increase in leverage. Why? The difference is not intelligence, and it's definitely not writing ability. It's architecture. Was the book written to share knowledge, or was it engineered to shape perception? That distinction matters more now than ever before. A book written to share knowledge often becomes comprehensive, insightful, and impressive, but not necessarily positioning focused. A book engineered for authority is different because it's intentional. It defines a clear problem, it owns a specific perspective, it narrows its audience, and it communicates leadership. And most importantly, it shapes how the market categorises you. Because markets categorise quickly. Within seconds of discovering you, someone is asking, what do they stand for? What are they known for? What problem do they own? Are they premium or mid-tier? Are they strategic or operational? Authority answers those questions before you speak. And that is why publishing alone is no longer enough. Visibility without positioning creates noise. Positioning without clarity creates confusion. Authority requires structure. It requires deciding what you're not as much as what you are. And that can feel uncomfortable because clarity eliminates flexibility. If you define your authority lane, you cannot be everything to everyone. But trying to be everything to everyone is the fastest way to remain invisible. Authority is built through disciplined focus, and that is what this evolution represents. This podcast is moving beyond how to publish a book. We're moving into how to structure intellectual capital, how to define authority positioning, and how to design assets that compound. Because expertise that is not structured does not scale. It stays trapped in conversations, it stays trapped in client work, and it stays dependent on effort. Structured authority creates leverage. It shortens decision cycles, it increases perceived value, and it attracts better fit clients. It changes how rooms respond to you. That's not hype. It's market psychology. People trust clarity. People trust structure. People trust defined perspectives, and that trust becomes authority. Let me make this more practical. I worked with a senior consultant who had been operating for over a decade. strong track record, excellent results, and very respected by existing clients, but externally almost invisible. Most of their work came through referrals. When pitching for larger contracts, they were competing against firms with bigger brands and stronger perceived authority. So they decided to publish their own book. But instead of writing broadly about everything they knew, we engineered it around one specific authority lane. And that had one defined problem, one positioning, one strategic framework. The book was not long, it was not complex, but it was precise. And within months, the shift was measurable. Sales conversations changed. Instead of explaining what they did, prospects would say, "I've read your book, I understand your approach." And that shortens trust. Speaking invitations increased because event organisers looked for visible authority, not hidden expertise. And most importantly, their fees increased, not because the consultant became more skilled, but because perception changed. Same person, same capability, but packed as intellectual property. That's the power of structured authority. Now, imagine two consultants in the same industry. Both have strong experience, both have delivered real results, and both decide to publish a book. The first one writes broadly. They share insights, they include multiple themes, they try to appeal to a wide audience. The book's intelligent, and it's very helpful, but it lacks a defined authority angle. Now, the second consultant does something different. They choose one specific positioning. They define the problem they want to be known for solving. They frame the book around that one authority lane. Every chapter reinforces that positioning. Every example anchors that identity. When the market encounters the second consultant, something different happens. Because there's clarity, there's recognition, and then there's memorability. Now, because authority is not about volume information, it's about sharpness of positioning. That sharpness compounds. It influences speaking invitations, it influences referrals, it influences pricing conversations, and it influences how quickly someone decides to trust you. That is what structured authority does. It compresses uncertainty. And in professional markets, uncertainty is the enemy of momentum. The clearer you are, the faster you move. The faster you move, the more authority compounds. This is why the shift matters. Because publishing without positioning adds noise. Publishing with positioning adds leverage. And leverage changes everything. So this evolution is not cosmetic, it's very strategic. We're not abandoning publishing, we're just elevating it. From output to architecture, from content to positioning, and from visibility to leverage. The professionals who win in 2026 will not be louder. They will be clearer. Clear about who they serve, clear about what they stand for, and clear about the intellectual capital that they now own. And from here forward, that's exactly what we're building. If you're serious about strengthening your authority positioning, you'll find the next steps in the description below. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Many professionals write a book hoping it will elevate them. But hope is not a positioning strategy. You cannot outsource authority to a publishing platform. And you can't assume credibility will emerge just because your name is on the cover. Authority is not created by volume, it's created by clarity. And clarity requires decisions. And them decisions are about what you will be known for, about what you will deliberately ignore, and about the intellectual ground you are willing to defend. This is what most professionals avoid because it feels safer to stay broad, safer to stay flexible, safer to stay undefined. But undefined professionals remain interchangeable. Defined professionals become reference points, and markets reward reference points. If you want to leverage in 2026 and beyond, your expertise must be structured, your perspective must be sharpened, and your authority must be intentional. Authority isn't claimed, it's engineered.